I wish they taught networking in college or in high school. You know, how to talk to people, how to mix and mingle, and, you know, how it's, you know, I've been to networking events where people are shaking your hand and asking you, oh, what do you do? And then they're looking over your shoulder to see who their next victim is going to be.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that's ick. Like, I can't deal with people like that.
Welcome to This Might Get Creative, a Behind the Brand podcast by Lyon Creatives. I'm Svenja Lyon, and in each episode, I sit down with local business owners and entrepreneurs to share their stories, how they got started, what keeps them going, and what makes their business stand out. My goal? To help more amazing businesses be seen, supported, and celebrated. So grab your coffee, because this might just get creative. Hey everyone, welcome back to This Might Get Creative, a Behind the Brand podcast by Lyon Creatives. I'm Svenja Lyon. I build brands, create websites, and design all of your marketing collateral needs. I'm the owner of Lyon Creatives, where I help small businesses show up online with confidence and clarity. Today, I'm sitting down with someone who understands the social media chaos better than anyone. Patti Singer, founder of Follow Me Social Media Consulting. Patti works with small and mid-sized businesses who feel overwhelmed by social media. She helps them stay visible, consistent, and connect to their audience. From consulting to full management and training, she makes social media doable so business owners can focus on running their business. We're diving into why consistency feels so hard and how to stay true to your brand and voice online. Welcome, Patti.
Thank you so much, Svenja, for having me. This is exciting.
Yes, I'm very excited to have you on the podcast. And why don't we start with you tell me a little bit about how Follow Me Social Media Consulting began?
Oh boy, so that's quite the story. I started it it's probably 14 years ago now, which I can't believe. It's been really, really quick. But I used to work in corporate. 2008, the economy tanked. They had to lay off a bunch of people. I was one of them. So, you know, my boyfriend and I sat there and went, all right, now what are we going to do? Because he was a plumber. And, you know, when the economy tanks too, people stop building new houses, you know, companies stop adding on, duct tape becomes people's best friends, you know, so he was kind of in a bind also. And so we had the great idea of let's open an Amish furniture store.
Oh,
yeah,
that's different.
Yeah, I know. So I joke now, I go, you know, what's every woman's dream is you want to have a bed and breakfast or, you know, a cute little gift shop. So we went the gift shop route.
Oh, okay.
And so we opened an Amish furniture store. And while we were doing that, and I was trekking out to Lancaster to pick up furniture and stuff like that.
Yeah.
My daughter said, Mom, you need to be on Facebook. And I'm like, okay, why? I need neighbors for Farmville, she says, which is one of the stupid games that you could play on Facebook where you plant crops, and if you don't pick them in time, they die, and it's just crazy.
Yeah, like Tamagotchis, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So this was my intro to social media, right?
Yeah.
But I realized that, you know, with the store, I would post pictures of the furniture or, you know, the jams and the jellies and, you know, the tchotchkes and all that other fun stuff that we were trying to sell. And people would go, oh my God, I love that. I need to come into the store and buy, you know, I need that. So I realized instead of sitting behind the cash register going, oh my God, I hope somebody comes in today, I could almost drive traffic into my store.
Yeah.
So that's where my pursuit of social media stemmed from. 3 years later, when we finally said, all right, we might actually make money doing this. A kid ran his car through our store and totally demolished 2 whole rooms worth of furniture, and the building had to be condemned because it wasn't structurally sound anymore, and it was horrible. So we were back to square one as to, you know, now what are we going to do? So we tried to change locations and realized the people who would visit our store were on one side of the county and wouldn't come over to the other side of the county, and vice versa. Those people didn't know who we are. So it was like starting all over. And I'm like, all right, we really need to be able to eat and live in a house. So we need to shut this down. So I went to work for a chimney sweep. Go figure. So now I know everything there is to know about EPA-rated fireplaces and creosote and chimney liners and wood stoves, but did his social media for him. And he belonged to the New Jersey Chimney Sweep Guild. And they had a meeting, so all the chimney sweeps got together and had a guy come in to talk about social media. I'm like, all right, I can see what I could be doing better, what I could be doing differently, how I can, help, promote this company even better. And this guy came in with a suit and a tie and a PowerPoint presentation and did not know his audience, who were in jeans and t-shirts covered in soot, and they're worker guys. They are not office guys.
No.
So he started to talk, and they're all looking at him like, we have no idea what you're talking about. And he says, how many, platforms are you guys all on? And I raised my hand. I go, all of them. And he's like, oh, so dollar signs went off in his head because he thought he could rope in all these chimney companies. And every word that, I'm sure I was annoying as anything, but as soon as he would say something, I go, yeah, but you can also do this too, right? And, what about this? And how about QR codes? And what about linking it to your website? And, all this other stuff. And I'm sure he was annoyed with me, but then all the chimney sweep guys started to look at me going, how do you do that? Where on your phone is that? And I'm like, okay, I think something's brewing here. So probably that winter into the new year, I said to the guy who owns the chimney sweep company, I'm like, I'm going to go do this other thing. So, and that's what I did. I just took it and ran and joined a chamber of commerce. And, I come from a family where everybody always worked for somebody. So to be my own business person was really, really scary. And I had no idea what I was doing. And luckily I had a very supportive boyfriend in my life who was like, he's like, I'm so proud of you. You just go do it, get it done. And, so I just flew by the seat of my pants and, says, all right, I'm going to go to a networking event. And when somebody asks me, oh, who else do you do social media for? I can go, you could be the first one, and see how that goes. So that's definitely how I got started. So it's been a crazy ride.
That's pretty cool. But I mean, those are the cool stories,
Yes,
like
exactly.
I always wanted to do graphic design, but long time ago, then went the marketing route and worked for corporate, and wasn't for me. And so then 2010, I started Lyon Creatives. Well, it had a different name back then, but that's when it all started.
Good for you.
So,
good for you. You've been in business a long time too, so that's great.
I know. Yes. So what types of clients do you usually work with?
So I love my small business owners. They're usually, they have a handful of employees, three and up, until they're, too big and they have their own marketing department. So, that's usually my sweet spot, because the owner is too busy trying to manage the company. So he hands the social media tasks off to his admin, who we all know the admin is the true person who's running the company. And it always ends up at the bottom of their to-do list, and it never gets done. And, you're paying a salary or, hourly person to do your social media when you can just get that all off your plate and hire me or whoever to do it for you. And it ends up, you don't have to pay health benefits. You don't have to do, all that other stuff that you would with a salaried employee. And, we handle it for them. we talk to them all the time because I want to learn from them and I want to get their voice and I want to make sure that I'm putting out the correct information and they can give me pictures or video and, all of that stuff. And, like your branding, which you totally know about, to make sure they're authentic online. So, and then I always say, I am not the expert in your field. So if someone asks a question, I'm going to text you, call you, whatever, and say, how do you want me to answer this?
Yeah.
And you give me the answer and you're done. You don't have to worry about it anymore. I'll handle the rest. If they want to get into an in-depth conversation, I always tell them, please call the office and speak to, whoever is there. Yeah. So, it's truly hands off for them unless they want to be involved. Then they can. I don't, hijack all their stuff and say, you can't touch it. It's your business. It's yours, so I'm here to work with you, not against you. So, so it's a small business, couple employees, don't have the time, the energy, the know-how, but know how important it is to be out there in the social media world because like we know on Facebook and everything, there's all the moms groups, the town groups, all this. And everybody's always asking, do you know a good plumber, electrician, accountant, doctor? And if you can throw a company's name out there and link their Facebook to that comment so they can click over and see what you do, what you've posted about, to see what your knowledge is or how good you are, you're an expert in your field, it makes them so much more comfortable when they pick up the phone and call you because they feel like they already know you.
Yes. And I want to go a little deeper into that because when I work with businesses and we talk about the branding and we talk about, the whole look of the website and the logo and all that, social media comes up, but it's not on right there, it's something that you need to have, but I know that for a fact that lots of people do not like it. So why do you think is it so hard for a business owner, to translate the branding that they have established then also into their social media, because you see it all the time. There's someone else on social media, and then, when you look at the website, it's completely different.
Right. I just think, first of all, it's Meta and, some of these social media platforms have made it so difficult to manage that people just give up and they go, I don't get it. I don't know where to go. I don't know how to upload something. I don't, my image might be long and skinny where the profile picture is either round or square, and they just go, I don't have the time or the energy and I hate this, so I don't want to do it. Or they know, all right, I still have to do it, so I'm just going to quick set it up the best I can and go with it that way. And I think that's where the struggle is. Every platform, Facebook, Instagram, X, LinkedIn, every graphic parameter is different on every single one of them, which makes it extremely difficult to make things look cohesive. And sometimes people want to have that long, skinny, beautiful logo, but then you go on social media and it doesn't fit anywhere.
Exactly.
And then you're like, now what do I do?
Yes, absolutely agree. So now you touch base on, what your clients, they struggle with. So how do you walk them through? Let's say a business owner comes to you and they do not have a social profile. They do not have LinkedIn. They do not have Facebook, but now they realize they need that. So do you create the graphics for them, or do you guide them through the whole process? Because they have to set up their own account. How do you guide them through this?
So, sometimes they don't even want to set up, I'm not even on Facebook, they know, but I know that the company needs to be. So I'll set it up for them. And I
the
go,
company
but
profile or the personal profile?
the company profile.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go, but I need someone either in your family or within the business that I can also make an admin to these pages, because if anything happens to me, you can't get in there and then you lose everything.
Yes.
So that's always my advice to every person who has a business profile, on Facebook or something. Make sure somebody else is tied to it or knows the login information, because if anything happens to you, somebody hacks you, they take you down, you can't get back to your page. There's no one you can pick up the phone and call at Facebook and say, oh my God, I can't get into my page. They don't care.
Yeah.
So, you want to have someone else who can say, all right, oh my gosh, I was hacked. Somebody took me down. I can create a new profile. Then that other person can re-add me back in as an admin. And then we're still back in business on Facebook. So, but if they don't have a presence, I can create it for them. I just go, I need a high resolution logo. I need, which is a whole other story. And, I need an about section, which is if they have a good website, I can pull it off of there. I need, all your contact information that you want out there, and create the page, have them look it over and say, does this look okay to you? And is, and is this matching your website? Because we want to have that link in there, because I think the goal of social media is to drive traffic to your website.
Yes.
Because that's where all the good information is. Social media or the little short snippets.
Yes.
The big picture is on the website. So I'll create it for them and, add whoever they want to be an admin, on there, and, pass it by them and say, is this good? Can we go with this? And yes, no, change this, whatever.
When I work with businesses, I create the profile pictures and I create the banners, like all these things, but I do not do the next steps. Right. So I think that's perfect.
Which is why social media people love people like you, because it makes our life so much easier, because you know what a high resolution logo is. Yes. Color,
and I can modify it to
coordination and templates, to carry their branding through. So we love people like you. It makes it so much easier.
Well, we love people like you, because I don't know if we love social media. Well, we do. It's a love-hate relationship. It is love-hate relationship.
And a lot of business owners think the website designer is going to run their social media for them. And most website people hate to do social media. So, they're a great referral source for me.
Awesome. So how do you learn a client's brand voice? I mean, you touched it already with saying you go on the website and you learn about them. But so how do you really learn like the style of the post and what fits to that specific client?
So if they're local, I meet with them in person. And we sit down and we talk, and, the way they are in a conversation is usually the way the business is. Yeah. So I can gather a lot of information that way. If they have a brick and mortar, I'm like, give me a tour, show me around the place so I can hear how their passion is about what they do, or, how they describe what they do or what they sell. And so I can really get the voice from that. And then, just continued conversations and, seeing what they're up to. If they're sending me pictures, I always ask them for like a little description as to what's going on in these pictures, so I can get a feel for the terminology and the words that I should be using. And warn them, like, all the technical terms, but to the average person, they're going to not have a clue as to what that means. So let's put it in plain English for your followers so they understand what you're talking about. Yes. And, it's like, there are some people who, in this day and age, it's more common now. they swear all over their, social media using bad words and
Really?
because that's their brand, so you try and do that. You have people who are like, oh, this is cool, this is wild, this is sexy, this is, this, that, and the other. So you want to be able to carry that through to their socials.
Yeah.
You just want to make sure that if you're doing social media for a prim and proper law firm, you're not talking that other way, or they're going to get mad, first of all.
Yes.
But then there's going to be a huge disconnect there. People are going to be like, oh, this is a cool attorney, I'm going to call them. And they're like, this is ABC attorneys. And they're like, wait a minute, what just happened?
Yes. So when you, in order to guarantee that there's like consistency in the branding, in the voice, in the posting, how do you create like a plan for the whole month, like to follow a certain topic, or maybe, I don't know, let's go back to the law firm. They have specific offerings that they are offering for the month. Do you kind of plan that ahead, or does it
so
just,
usually I have an attorney. She's a family law divorce attorney. So and she's a mediator also. So we talk a lot about, if you want to save money and not go through the whole court process, there's always mediation.
Yeah.
If you two feel that you can work things out, this is the cheaper route to go.
Yeah.
And talk about stuff like that. A lot of times in the beginning, they want to have a plan. This is what we want to talk about. This is, what we want to put out there. But once they see how I handle their social media, they're just like, you know what we do. Just do what you do.
Yeah.
Because we love it, so, and then if they have stuff coming up, like we're going to attend this event, or I'm going to be a speaker at this, they let me know so I can promote that for them. So I just always warn them, and I go, you need to give me a month or two in advance of when you're doing something, because letting me know the day before and go, oh, hey, we're going to be at this event, you should come. And everybody's like, yeah, but it's tomorrow. We should have known about this earlier. So there is planning ahead.
Yes.
But for the day-to-day stuff, they usually just, say, you know what we do, run with it. So that's what I do.
Perfect. So do you have some practical tips for the listeners to, for example, systems or tools that you recommend, or how to avoid big mistakes that business owners make?
The grammar police are always out there. So make sure you're spelling everything properly is one of the big ones.
Yes.
The other one is that I find a lot. It's like most business owners, they just want to sell what they're selling, whether it's a product or a service. They want every message to be buy from me, buy from me, buy from me. People hate that. It's like, oh God, there's the used car salesman. Let's run the other direction.
Yeah.
So I said, you have to really educate people. You have to ask them questions, because they love to give you their opinions. So you want to be able to engage them in conversation. Entertain. Funny is always great. People behind the scenes stuff, people love that. And if it's funny, it's even better. Like I had a plumbing company. They were on the site, and they were, I don't know, they were putting a new well pump system in. And the owner of the plumbing company dropped his keys down the tube.
Oh, no.
So the two other contractors who were there picked him up by the legs and were holding him over the hole and lowering him down so he could grab his keys.
Oh, my God.
And they took pictures of that. So we posted about that. And the engagement they got was like, oh, my God,
really?
This is hilarious. And, so, you want to get that behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
And you want to show the people in your business You say accountant, everybody knows what an accountant is. But who are the people that are doing your accounting? People want to connect with those people. And I always say, especially in the trades, if you can showcase your guys on the job or your girls, when it comes time for a person who needs your services and they call you and that person shows up at their front door, they're like, oh my God, I know them. I saw them on whatever.
Yes.
And they already feel comfortable allowing a stranger into their home. So it makes it that much easier, you know?
Yes.
So you want to definitely do other things besides the hard sell. In, you know, social media, we've always had the 80-20 rule. So you want 80% education, entertainment. You know, people love a motivational quote here and there. And then 20% should be a sales message. And it shouldn't be an in-your-face sales message. It should be a soft sell. You know, recently we did X, Y, and Z. You know, if this happens to you or if you need our services, reach out and give us a call, you know, that kind of stuff.
So this 80-20 rule, that applies to one post or multiple posts that you schedule out for the week?
So I would say, you know, you have 7 days in a week. 80% of that should be the other stuff. And 20% should be a sales post.
Okay. Now that makes sense. Makes sense. So I also wanted to talk a little bit about BNI and the community. So how has BNI helped you and your business?
Oh my gosh. I love BNI, and it didn't start out that way. I had, when I worked for the chimney sweep company, he was not a morning person. So he was about ready to get kicked out of BNI because he either didn't make it, he overslept, so his attendance was super bad. So they were going to kick him out. So he's like, you go for me, because I'm a morning person. If you ask me to do something at 4:30 in the morning, I'm all for it. If you ask me to do something at 7 o'clock at night, I am done. That's it.
Oh my God, yes.
So BNI is a perfect fit for me.
Yes.
So I would go for him. And my first experience was BNI was an attorney was the president. Mm-hmm. And he had a podium, and he had a binder with laminated pages that whatever section we were going through BNI, this is the educational moment. He would flip a page over and it would say educational moment. This is, this part, this is, why we gather here. And he'd flip over the, things.
Oh my God.
And he was like so strict. And then when it came time to go around the room where everybody could do their sales manager minute or whatever, they were so afraid, these people. They had their thing written on an index card.
Oh my God.
And as they're reading their message, their hands are shaking.
What?
And I'm like going, what the heck is this? I hate this. This is horrible. I am not doing this.
Oh my God, yes.
Then I visited some other BNI chapters, and I'm like, oh, this is better. This is so different. So I joined a chapter, my first chapter that I actually joined. And there was an SEO person in that chapter who then decided, I do SEO and social media. So he didn't like me from the beginning. And they're like, you've never, ever talked about social media. You talk about SEO.
Yeah.
And if you know BNI, there are industry specific seats.
Yeah.
So you're either the SEO person or you're the social media person.
Yeah.
You're not both.
Yeah.
So when I came in, I never got any referrals for him. He never, even spoke to me, basically, and I'm like, this isn't working. And the head of our region said, you can switch chapters, because I had subbed for some people at my current chapter.
Yeah.
And they welcomed me on day one like I was part of the family. So I'm like, oh my God, this is better. I love this chapter. So yeah, I've been in our BNI chapter for 13 years, I think.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, and they're like family. I love every single person in our chapter. It's amazing.
I do agree.
And I've gotten at least 75% of my work through BNI. So it works. It totally works.
So, well, that goes into my next question. How important is relationship building for visibility?
Huge.
I mean,
huge.
Yes.
Yeah. When I speak to young people who are trying to get out in the world, and I wish they taught networking in college or in high school, how to talk to people, how to mix and mingle, and, how it's, I've been to networking events where people are shaking your hand and asking you, oh, what do you do? And then they're looking over your shoulder to see who their next victim is going to be.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that's ick. Like, I can't deal with people like that.
Yeah.
But how to actually listen, ask interesting questions. And the biggest question through networking that I've always found to be really good is, how can I help you?
Mm-hmm.
And, people are like, oh my God, you want to help me? And I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
So networking is just super important. And when I started my business, like I said, going to a chamber of commerce or whatever and trying to get my first client, that's basically all I did. I jumped from all these networking opportunities just to get to know people. Mm-hmm. And, it's the whole, I'm sure you've talked about this in your other episodes, the whole know, like, and trust factor is what will garner you the business most of all. So
I agree, because that was one big challenge for me this year, was to actually connect, because as a designer, you sit behind your desk, your computer.
Me too.
And
that's what I do.
Yes. So, I mean, yes, you get to know people, but to go to an actual event and actually talk to someone in person, that makes the whole difference. And so that's why I'm grateful to you, Patti, that you invited me to the BNI chapter, the best BNI chapter.
Yeah, we are.
Really?
If take those business cards that you've collected and pick, 2 or 3 of them and pick up the discussion where you left off, meet for coffee, do a phone call, just said, it was really great meeting you at that event. I want to learn more about what you do.
And I think that's important, to just learn more about people.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be a sell.
Right.
No, it's
and it shouldn't be when you're networking.
It
shouldn't be a sell at all. It should be a learning opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah, because what you get out of a 3 to 5 minute conversation, and then you actually sit down and talk for maybe half an hour or 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. That's what, like you said, that's where the stories come out. Yes. And that's where you get to really learn, where did these people come from and how did they get to where they are? And most of the time it's super interesting or super motivational and inspiring. So, to sit down and to really talk to people is, how you can further your business even farther.
And that's why I created this podcast.
Yeah.
Because in just these couple of episodes that I now recorded, I learned so much about, everyone, and even your story. It's so interesting how you got started and how this all came about. So, yes.
Right.
So meeting people, building relationships.
Yeah. The relationships,
and posting on
huge.
social media.
And post about your relationships. If you're collaborating with somebody, brag them up. You want to, share the happiness and the wealth and, everything else.
Absolutely. So to wrap up our conversation, do you have one piece of advice for an overwhelmed business owner?
Let go if you can. Delegate. You are the expert in your business. You don't have to be an expert in bookkeeping. You don't have to be the expert in marketing. You don't have to be the expert in, whatever else is happening within your business. The quicker you learn that you can delegate these things out to people that you really trust and know are going to do a good job for you, the freer you are to build your business even bigger.
Agreed. So where can people find you?
Yeah. You can go to best2followme.com, which is my website, which is BESTTOFOLLOWME.com. I am all over Facebook. I am personally on Instagram, not as my business. It's kind of hard to do my business on Instagram. So, but Patti Singer NJ on Instagram and, LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn, Patricia Singer. So, yeah. So
awesome.
Connect with me.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear from anybody.
Yes, I will definitely put it in the show notes. Awesome. And one fun question. Right now, do you have a favorite book?
So I have a favorite book, and it's not a business book.
That's okay.
So, yeah. So I have a favorite author. His name is Harlan Coben, which he's a Jersey guy. So I've met him numerous times and have multiple books signed by him, but he brings New Jersey into his books. And so you'll be like, oh, I know where that is. Or, he talks about Livingston and, stuff like that. Yeah. So it's cool. He's a cool guy. He's awesome. I know him, and he has shows on Netflix too. He does. I love my God, they're so good. He just co-wrote a book with Reese Witherspoon, which is pretty cool too. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And, but I think one of my favorite books is, it's called The Night Circus. Mm-hmm. And it's it's really interesting and kind of fantasy, and it's just really cool. So it's a great book. I love it.
Okay, awesome. I'll make sure to check it out. So Patti, thank you so much for joining me today. And I love how our worlds overlap, and I'm pretty sure we can refer lots of business to each other.
Absolutely.
And branding and social media, they do go hand in hand, like you said. Yes.
Yeah.
So for everyone listening, if you want support with your social media, consulting, management, or training, visit best2followme.com.
Yeah.
That was correct, right?
Best2followme. Yep.
Yes. And if you're enjoying the show, follow This Might Get Creative and leave a review, or share this episode with another business owner. Thank you so much for being here. And
thank you for having me. It was great.
Thank you. See you next time. Thanks for listening to This Might Get Creative, a Behind the Brand podcast by Lyon Creatives. If you enjoyed this episode, follow the show and share it with someone who loves discovering local businesses and creative entrepreneurs. You can learn more about my work at lioncreatives.com or find me on Instagram, lion.creatives, and LinkedIn at Lyon Creatives. Until next time, keep showing up, keep creating, and keep getting seen.